Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm so excited to share this video with you. I'm going to be sharing your minimal makeup starter kit. So these are all of the products that I think are essential if you want just a really good basic makeup routine. Nothing super out there, nothing super crazy, just things that are multi-purpose, really easy to apply, and are very versatile. So that's what I'm going to be sharing today. I'm going to include brushes as well. And I also have, for the makeup, drugstore and high-end options. And I tried to get as many clips of me applying the drugstore and the high-end options as possible. So there's going to be something for everybody, whether you're wanting drugstore or a more high-end product. So I'm so excited to share this with you. If you are new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty and makeup content here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I hope you'll stick around and subscribe to my channel. And let's go ahead and get into the minimal makeup starter kit. Let's get into it. So everything that I'm going to share with you is in this bag. Now I do have, like I said, high-end and drugstore options for each category that I'm going to talk about. So I don't have every single option in here, but obviously you would have one of the options most likely in your makeup bag. All right, we're going to start out with eyebrows. I'm starting with brows because they are one of the most important things, if not the most important facial feature, in my opinion. Your brows really, they make your face. They add dimension and shape to your face. They frame your face essentially. So that's definitely something you want to have in your minimal makeup starter kit. So I used two different products on my brows today. I have a drugstore option and a high-end option. To me, the way to go if you're trying to do just one brow product is a tinted brow gel or a tinted brow wax. So today I used one of my favorites of all time. I love it so very much, the Patrick Ta tinted brow wax. That is what I have on my left brow. I did not fill in my brows today, so I only used this product for my brows, no pencil or anything like that. And with this, if you are someone that you want to add fullness and you want your brows to really stay in place throughout the day, I would definitely recommend a brow soap or a brow wax, something that has some tackiness to it that will really stay in place. And this one from Patrick Ta is really good because it is tinted. As you can see, this one is well loved by me. You do have to use some sort of a spray to activate it before you apply it, but I would always recommend a tinted brow wax or a brow gel. For a drugstore option on my right brow, I have the e.l.f. Wow Brow. You probably have heard of this product. It is probably the best drugstore brow gel in my opinion. I love it. Adds a little bit of fullness. It adds a little bit of color. The difference between the two, I would say, is this does not give a ton of hold. So I do think your brows move slightly throughout the day with this, whereas with this, they stay in place a lot better. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for. With this, you get more of a bushy, natural eyebrow look. And with this is just a classic brow gel to add fullness and color. So you really can't go wrong with either. Like I said, typically I will fill in my brows after I use a gel or a wax, but today I didn't. So my brows are not perfectly filled in. They're just kind of brushed through very slightly, and that's really all you need. Just so you have a little bit of definition to your brows. You don't have to go crazy and do a pomade and clean it up with concealer and all that. You don't need all that. You just need a good tinted brow gel or brow wax, depending on your preferences. Moving on to one of my favorite things in the whole world. And I will say this is not always necessary, but I find most people can benefit from a corrector under their eyes. I find it very, very rare to see someone that has no discoloration of any kind under their eyes, unless you're like maybe the age of 12 and below. And even then, sometimes really young kids you'll see with dark circles. So I would always recommend a corrector. You guys know, if you watch my channel, I talk about corrector all the time. And my pick for a high-end option, this will not be a surprise to you most likely, is the Bobbi Brown Stick Corrector. This is what I used on my left eye today, and I've talked about this so many times. You can't go wrong with this. You really can't. It is a very lightweight, thin, silky consistency, and just the smallest bit of product makes such a difference. Now, I do love the original Bobbi Brown corrector in the pot, but that one is definitely a little bit of a thicker texture. So depending on the coverage that you're wanting, you might prefer that one if you want a fuller coverage. But to me, this is a true medium coverage corrector. It comes in, I want to say like, I don't know, 14 or 15 shades, which is kind of unheard of for color correctors. I can't say enough good things about this. I think it is worth every single penny, and definitely a product worth having in your makeup bag. Now, for a drugstore corrector, I will say there aren't a ton of drugstore options in terms of correctors, but I will say my favorite that I have tried is from Neutrogena, and it's the Clear Coverage Color Corrector. This one is in the shade Peach. There is one that is darker than this. I think it's called Deep Peach, I want to say, and it's a good bit darker. Unfortunately with this, the main issue is going to be the color range. There's only two in terms of a corrector shade. So for me, the peach one works really well. This is very creamy, very hydrating. It, I would say again, is no more than a medium coverage, but it's really beautiful under the eyes. For a drugstore price point, I think this is really good, and I reach for this a lot. I really like this product so much. So to me, a corrector is 100% something I would recommend having in your makeup bag. Honestly, corrector is a lot of times more important than concealer. A lot of times, if I am just trying to do something really quick, corrector is way more important to me. So I will just put on a little bit of corrector right in my inner corner where I have the most darkness, and just forget the concealer altogether. Because really what's causing the issues under your eyes is most likely the color, which is what a corrector helps with. So for me, 100% everybody could benefit from a color corrector. Okay, no foundation. No foundation, no, tinted moisturizer. I would honestly say skip all of that if we're going minimal, and really find the perfect tinted SPF. Obviously, your skin tone will affect which tinted sunscreen works the best for you. For me, my tried and true favorite is Dermatology. This is SPF 46 and it is tinted. I will say it doesn't give a ton of coverage. It just adds a little bit of a tint to your face. But I wear this every single day without fail. I use it all the time. You can see mine. I use it so often I broke the cap. But to me, this is way more important than a foundation or a tinted moisturizer or anything like that, because this is a great base for a concealer, which is what I'm going to recommend to pair with this. So to me, you need a good tinted SPF. This is definitely my pick, hands down, over all of the ones that I've tried. But everyone I feel like is coming out with sunscreens right now, so you really have to try them out and figure out what works best for you. But the Dermatology works perfectly for me, and I think it's pretty affordable. I think it's $25 for 1.7 fluid ounces. I usually order 2 of them at a time, and I love it. I think everyone needs a good tinted SPF to pair with a concealer. Now for concealer, you need a skin tone shade of concealer, as in a concealer that matches your skin. We don't want to go with something brighter. I know that the bright under eye has been a big trend for quite a while. I've never really been into it, but you need a concealer that matches your skin tone. If you've been here for a while on my channel, I'm sure you probably know which concealers I'm going to suggest, but I actually have them both on my face. I have the Drugstore on my right side and the High End on my left side. The High End, you guys, I've talked about this over and 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 over because it is so good. I reach for this so often. This is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. They have a great shade range, and yes, it is more of a matte finish, but as the name suggests, it's a soft matte. It's not drying, it's not cakey. It has a velvety finish to it. It almost kind of reminds me of the finish of that Bobbi Brown Stick Corrector. It has a very thin, silky consistency. The coverage is great and it's buildable. So you can go in with more or less of this depending on how much coverage you're wanting that day. But this lasts forever, you guys. I know this is such a tiny little pot here, but you need the smallest bit of product. The smallest bit. You will see in the demo or the B-roll of me applying this. I dip the brush straight into it and then just tap it in on my face and you're good to go. You can also use this under your eyes. So this is like a one and done concealer and foundation. I'm telling you, you cannot do any better than this. The Drugstore option, you guys, this is the best drugstore concealer I've ever tried, hands down. No, I didn't even have to think about this. The NYX Bear With Me Serum Concealer is so good. It is so beautiful. That's what I have on the right side of my face. I wear the shade Vanilla, and like I said, I will, or I don't know if I said it, but I will list and link everything below with my shades if you're curious, if I forget to say something. But this is a beautiful concealer for all over the face and under the eyes, which is how I used it today. I have it under my eyes on my right eye and then on the right side of my face. And this is beautiful. This has more of a natural finish. It's a little more, it has a little bit more of a glow to it, whereas the NARS is definitely more of that softer matte finish. So depending on what you're looking for, I would recommend either one. But this is beautiful. And yes, this is a very tiny little bottle, but a little bit of this, much like the NARS, goes a very long way. You do not need a lot of this product. You need just a little bit. So yes, it is a very small container, but honestly, this will last you. You do not need layers and layers and layers of this. Although you can layer this as well if you want to, which is also very nice. To me, these, you cannot go wrong with either of these. This is way more important to me than a foundation or, any other complexion product. You just need something buildable with a good amount of coverage that's very versatile, that matches your skin tone. All right, next you might be thinking I'm going to tell you bronzer, but I would actually just skip bronzer altogether. I would go for a blush, and obviously everyone has different blush preferences, but to me, you can find a blush that is a blush, but it has a bit of a bronze effect as well. So today I do not have on bronzer. All I have on is blush, and I have a Drugstore option on my right side. High End is on my left side. And you guys, I'm really excited about these products because I actually realized the Drugstore option is actually kind of a dupe in terms of the color for the High End option. So I'm really excited to share that with you. If you know me, you know what I'm going to say for High End. I think you cannot go wrong with Patrick Ta, the blush duos. He has quite a few colors now. I think there's like 7 or 8 colors, but there's 2 that I would recommend if you're wanting to skip bronzer altogether. The ultimate favorite is this one, and it's one of the newer shades, and it's She's Blushing. You guys, that is what I have on this cheek. I have on the powder with a little bit of the cream tapped over the top, and something about this shade, they describe it as a beige color, and I would have to agree. It's got some rose pink tone in it, but it also has some brown tones in it. To me, I even brought some of this up on my forehead, the powder at least, and you just cannot go wrong with this. I'm telling you, these duos are worth every single penny in my opinion, but this color, it's everything. I love it so, so much. And these are great because you can do powder and then cream, or cream with the powder on top. They're designed to be able to do either or. I personally really like to do powder first and then tap some of the cream on top because it kind of brings back that skin finish, that really pretty sheen, which I love. So to me, you cannot go wrong with this. I actually, this past weekend, was in Georgia visiting my grandparents, and I did do my grandmother's makeup. She is 80. I will hopefully remember to put the picture up on the screen here. And I used this blush on her, and she's blushing, and it was so beautiful. So beautiful. I will put the picture up on the screen, but I just can't say enough good things about this formula, but particularly this color. If you were wanting something a little more bronzy and not so rosy, She's So LA, you cannot go wrong with. This just has more brown, more bronze in it. Also very pretty, but my ultimate pick for a minimal makeup look would be She's Blushing, but She's So LA is beautiful as well. And okay, for the drugstore side, I did pick a powder and a cream, since I have a powder and a cream on my left side and we're skipping bronzer. You guys, this color is so similar in the NYX Sweet Cheeks blush, and this is the shade Nude Tude. It's not identical, but this is such a pretty, pretty shade. So this is it kind of blended out. And the main difference I would say is this is definitely more of a matte finish. You don't get much luminosity from this, but other than that, very similar on the cheeks. Like, can you really tell a difference? So this is Nude Tude over here, and this is Patrick Ta. She's blushing. So good. I personally would recommend a cream and a powder blush, especially if you're skipping bronzer. So I paired the NYX Sweet Cheeks with this from LA Girl in the shade Just Natural. This is such a pretty pinky nude blush that, again, is more of a matte finish, but the effect, to me, I was surprised when I put this on today because I had actually never compared these two before until I was planning this video out, and they look almost identical on the cheeks. So you really cannot go wrong with either. If you were wanting something all in one, it is nice to have like a duo like this, but these from the drugstore are also just as good. Obviously, if you want bronzer instead of blush, you could definitely do that as well, but to me, blush really brings life to your face, and there's so many different tones and finishes and blushes. I just feel like everyone needs a good cream and powder blush in their life. All right, moving on. I would definitely recommend a powder for anyone, no matter your age. I know sometimes people with more mature skin are scared of powder, and I get that, but I do think everyone can benefit from just a little bit of powder. Very, very minimal. I'm not saying you need to cake it all over your face. I mainly focus powder in the T-zone. Anywhere that you notice that you get a little bit oily or shiny throughout the day. My two favorites are, you probably know, the Kosas Cloud Set. What I like about this is it does take away a little bit of shine, but it doesn't take away all of it, which I love a lot. I want to set my makeup, but I don't want to take away every little bit of glow on my face. So that's what I love about this powder. I've talked about it so many times. I use this on a daily basis. This is definitely my powder of choice, hands down, over all of them. I love the Kosas, but if you're not wanting to spend the money on the Kosas, my favorite, more affordable option, and I actually used this on my grandmother this past weekend, is the number 7. This is the Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Finishing Powder. So this is what it looks like. This is light medium, and I wear the shade Breezy in the Kosas powder. This one I will say is a little more silky, a little more of a blurring powder. The Kosas, because it's a baked powder, like I said, it leaves a little bit of luminosity to your face. So if you're wanting to really blur your skin, you can't do better than the number 7 powder. But I personally think everybody needs a good powder in their makeup routine for minimal makeup looks, because it's gonna make your makeup last, and you don't have to use a lot. You can use just the smallest bit right in your T-zone, or if you notice that you just get shiny like right on the sides of your nose, that's kind of how I am. Just put it there with a fluffy brush. That's all you need. You don't need to cake it on or bake or anything like that. But I do think even for a minimalist, for minimal makeup, you need a good pressed powder. For the eyes, I would skip eyeshadow palettes. You don't need them. And I would get a few good cream shadow sticks. I have a bunch of them, but these 3 are my favorites just for me personally, for my skin tone. They're easy to work with. They're not, you don't have to worry about fallout or anything like that. And these stay put really well. They're easy to blend. You just can't go wrong with these. So first I would get one that's pretty close to your natural lid color. For me, my favorite is from Nude Sticks, and it's, what is this called? The Magnetic Matte Eye Color in the shade Putty. So today I literally took this, put it all over my eye, and then blended it in. That's it. It's super easy, super creamy. This one has no shimmer in it, so you can see that's it right there. You can't really see a whole lot of color, which is what I would recommend. Everybody needs just a good matte cream shadow. You could just put this all over your eye and be done. Then I like to do something with a little bit of shimmer. Depending on your skin tone and your preferences, you might want something matte again on your lid. But for me, I feel like everybody, yes, even older, more mature skin, I feel like you can do a little bit of shimmer. And my absolute favorite is this one from Bobbi Brown. This is the shade Golden Bronze. And this is such a beautiful color. So that is it right there. And I love so many things about the Bobbi Brown shadow sticks. They are creamy, they're easy to blend, but the main benefit being when they set down, they do not move. They will stay put all day long, I guarantee you. But you do have some time to kind of play around with them and blend. Like you could see, I just blended that out a little bit with my finger. Today, after I did the nude sticks, I took a little bit of Bobbi Brown on my lid, took a fluffy eyeshadow brush, and just fluffed it up a little bit into the crease, and that's it. And it's super easy. For me, I love the golden bronze color with my skin tone, but there are tons of pretty shades in the Bobbi Brown sticks. And then finally, I think everybody could benefit from this one cream shadow, and it's Cocoa from Laura Mercier. So this is the caviar stick that she is kind of known for, and this is such a perfect matte chocolate brown. So that's it right there. You could do so much with this. You could actually use this on your lid very lightly and blend it out for like a one shadow smoky eye. But what I typically do with this is apply a little bit on the lash line, like on my outer corner, and then smudge it out. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of a wing shape. Sometimes I just kind of smudge it with an eyeshadow brush, and this is the effect. So I have 3 shadows on my eyes right now. No powder, no primer, no nothing. And I feel like creams are just always the way to go because they stay put. And I don't know, they're just easier to blend. They're not, you don't have to worry about fallout. Usually with powder shadows, you need some kind of base underneath them so that they blend well. And I just like the effect of cream shadows for minimal makeup. So I would always recommend cream shadow sticks. To be honest, I do not have really any cream shadow sticks from the drugstore that I love. I've tried some from e.l.f., I've tried some from Wet n Wild, and they're okay. But to me, I think it's worth it to invest in just one of these. If you can, it'll last you forever. You don't use a ton of product, and I just haven't found a drugstore one that I love enough to recommend to you. But to me, cream shadows are a great everyday staple. I think everybody needs a good mascara, and there are so many good ones. You definitely don't have to spend a ton of money to get a good mascara. I have two different ones on my eyes. I have the high end on my left eye and the drugstore on my right eye. For the high end, still my favorite 10 out of 10 is Rare Beauty. This is the mini size, and I've had this same tube open since December, you guys, and it is now May when I'm filming this. So this has been open and I'm still using it, and it's still going strong. I mean, it definitely has a little bit of clumpiness to it in the tube because I've used it so much, but on my lashes, it still looks really good. This does not smudge, it does not flake. It's very black and it's very buildable. So if you're wanting something for volume, to me, you can't do better than this. I wish so badly that it came in brown because I'm just loving brown mascara right now, but this is definitely my high-end pick. Everybody needs a good mascara, and you can always get a mini size in the high-end mascaras, which is really nice. The right side, you probably know what it is, but my pick 100% is L'Oreal Voluminous Balm Mascara. So this is the brown one. That's what I have on my right eye. It does come in black as well if you like black more than brown. This one I like so much, you guys. I reach for this the most. More than the Rare Beauty, more than any of my other mascaras. I just love this one. I can't say enough good things about it. It is easy to apply. It does not clump. It's buildable. I love the brown color for every day, and it's also really easy to remove. That's one thing I will say about the Rare Beauty is it really clings to your lashes, which is good, but it is a little more work to get it off at the end of the day. But other than that, I don't have anything negative to say about it. But this is so good. Everybody needs a good mascara. If you are more into minimal makeup, I would suggest looking into a brown mascara. They tend to be a lot more soft looking and natural, especially just for day to day. And last, for the lips, I'm gonna say skip lip liner, skip lipstick, go for a glossy, balmy product with some color. Today, I only have one thing on my lips. I wasn't really sure how to do half my lip with two different products, but I only have one thing on my lips today, and it's one of my favorite lip products ever of all time, and it's from Revlon. It's the Super Lustrous lipstick, Shine lipstick in the shade Nude Illuminator. That's all I have on my lips. I have no lip liner, no lipstick, no lip gloss, no nothing. That's all I have on, and these come in so many colors, and it's just everything you need. It's moisturizing, it has color, it's comfortable on the lips, it's easy to apply, it's affordable. You cannot go wrong with this. I do have a few high-end options as well in this same type of product that I love. One of them is Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow. I've talked about these tons of times. I have 3 of them. I have Bronze Glow, Apricot Glow, and Bear Glow. I love them all. The one advantage to these is you get a little bit of that tingly plumping effect. If you like that, you do not get that with the Revlon. So I just wanted to make that comparison, but The Revlon is still very good. I also love from Bare Minerals the Mineralist Lip Gloss Balm. This is the shade Ingenuity. It's like a pinky nude, but they come in tons of colors. Anything that is hydrating but gives some color. Basically something more than a lip balm, but less than a lipstick. Kind of a hybrid between the two. That's all you need. You don't need lip gloss, a separate lip gloss, a separate lipstick, a separate lip liner. You just need one good hydrating, balmy product. One other drugstore option that is so good. These are new, but it's the L'Oreal, I think they're the Paradise Glow Gloss Balm. I don't know. I will put the name up on the screen and in the description box. But again, this is very similar to like the Bare Minerals Mineralist Gloss Balms. They just have a doe foot and they give a little bit of color, but not a ton, and just easy to apply. All right, we're done with the makeup. And now I'm going to share just a few brushes and the tools that I think you really need, bare minimum. So first is, I guess, my foundation brush of choice, but I also use this for concealer, like I said today, all over my face, cream blush, cream bronzer, and it's the BK Beauty 106 brush. So my favorite kind of brush is this dome-shaped style that's pretty dense, because it needs to be dense enough so that you can stipple product in and get the coverage that you're wanting. But this brush is so good. It's so soft. It washes really well. And like today, I just stuck this right in my NARS concealer, went right into the little pot, tapped it on, and that's it. That's all you need. I also use this for the cream blush. When I tapped it on over the powder today, I usually use this for bronzer if I do wear a bronzer. It's just the perfect everyday brush. You could even use this under your eyes if you wanted to. I prefer a different brush for under my eyes, but you could definitely also use this under your eyes if you really wanted to. So I think everybody needs a good medium coverage, dome-shaped brush like this. Brush number 2 is the one I talk about constantly, so I had to put it in this video. This is my go-to concealer brush. It is the Sigma F03, and it's the high cheekbone highlighter brush. So this is for highlighter, but I use it for concealer, and I've never used anything with this type of shape for under the eyes, but it's the perfect size. It's kind of fluffy, but it also is a little bit dense, so you can really tap with it or lightly kind of blend out with it, and it fits perfectly right under the eye. I love this. I know so many of you have gotten this because of me and use this for your concealer and you really love it. I feel like you need a good concealer brush. You could also use this to tap in your corrector under your eyes if you don't want to use your finger. You could obviously also use your fingers too if you want to go without brushes. But these two for complexion are my picks. Everyone needs a sponge. You do not need to spend $20 on a beauty blender unless you just want to, but I love to have a sponge. I don't typically apply my foundation with sponges. What I use them for is to go over my face, to really blend everything together and pick up any excess product. I use these. They're from the brand Bisque, I think is how you say it. You get a pack of like 5 or 6 on Amazon. I will link them below, but I like them because they have a flat side and a pointy side. Everyone needs a good sponge. You need a barely damp sponge to lightly kind of tap over your face when you're done with your cream products, and it just helps blend everything together. Make sure there's no excess product sitting on your skin. Definitely a must. For the eyes, I'm going to recommend 2 brushes. Really, you could get away with just one of these. And the first one is, again, from BK Beauty, and it is the 202 brush. I have several brushes from BK Beauty, but I like this one because it's fluffy, but not super fluffy. It also has a tapered end, so a tapered end kind of gives you a little more control, a little more precision than a really large fluffy brush does. You can use this under the eyes to smudge under the eye. You could use it to smudge eyeliner. You could do your whole eye look with just this brush. I would personally also recommend an angled brush. I love the BK Beauty 208, which is a tiny little angled brush. I don't know where mine is, but this is also good, the Sephora 22 brush. It's just a small angled brush. You could use this for any detail work, but usually what I use it for is the lash line. If you ever want just like a subtle wing, you can take this and just kind of smudge and lightly kind of flick out a cream shadow. And it kind of gives you that wing look without having to use an actual eyeliner. So I always recommend that everyone have a small angled brush. And the last thing, you guys, everybody needs an eyelash curler. My favorite is this one from Surat Beauty. It is pricey. I've had this same one though for like 4 years. I have never replaced it. It's the same one that I've had and I still really love it. Lash curlers are pretty individual in terms of what works for your eye. It depends on your eye shape and your eye size. So you just kind of have to figure out what works for you. But bare minimum makeup looks, everybody needs an eyelash curler, even if you don't apply mascara. Just curl your lashes and it makes such a huge difference. All right, you guys, that is gonna be it for my minimal makeup starter kit. I hope this was helpful. Everything that I shared with you, brushes and makeup, fit in this makeup bag, including the second options. I wasn't sure if all the options would fit, but they do. So everything is in this bag. This is not a super large bag, and these are my picks. This is what you need for a put together, polished, yet minimal makeup look. I tried to really think this through. I have my notes here and I just want to make sure I said everything I wanted to say and kind of talked about my thought process behind these choices. So I will list and link everything below with my shades for you as always. But I hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends or anyone you think might enjoy this video or any of my other ones. Hope you'll subscribe if you're new and follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. I will see you next time. Remember, simply be you. Bye.